Hello, this is Dice Kimura. I'm going to do a review of my Taylor 814 CE that I've wanted to do for a very long time. So I'm finally getting around to it. I've owned this guitar, I believe, since 2014, I'm guessing. And it's now 2021. So it's been a minute. But check it out. Beautiful tone. I gotta admit that I had a lot of intrepidation or hesitation about going to Taylor. I used to be a Martin guy, and I had a couple Martins, and I was very staunch supporter of Martin, and it was hard for me to justify a $4,000 acoustic. I would play it brand new at the store, and it just didn't have the same volume and power and punch that a full-on Dreadnought has. This is a grand auditorium, it's a smaller size. And I would just hear this acoustic sound, and I couldn't justify all those thousands of dollars, and yet most of my favorite acoustic performers were playing Taylors. So at some point I had to reckon with the fact that maybe it's me that's wrong and not the guitar. And I couldn't fully understand that until I purchased one, if that makes sense. So I bought this guitar used. I believe I overpaid. I spent like $2,600 used on eBay. And I just want to talk about buying used acoustics on eBay. I've had duds, I've had lemons, but not Taylor. I've never seen a Taylor lemon. If you have a Taylor lemon, please comment below. I want to hear about it. But I've never seen or heard of a lemon Taylor. And what I mean by lemon, I hope you know what I mean. It's just like something that's just a little bit off. It's not right. It's like a B stock or something. Never saw that. And that's what gave me the confidence to buy used off eBay. So this guitar now is listed for about $3,800 USD now in 2021. And I got it for 26. I think market value, it was around 18. The price kept going up. This was like in 2014 or 15. But I made a point to get this model. This has the 2.0 expression system. And the 2.0 expression system was upgraded to 2.0, I believe, in 2008 or 2007. Somebody, if you know the answer, comment below, please. But I definitely wanted that upgraded model. And I'm plugged in here. And I'm just going to let you hear it off the mic of my camera here. But I'm plugged into this Fishman. You can see, but if you can see that Fishman behind me. So I've just got it turned on, kind of like halfway settings. Just reverb, nothing fancy, no chorus. Incredibly clear, smooth sound. Super easy to play all throughout the neck action. I gotta give Taylor tons of credit for their necks. Their necks sound and feel amazing. I'm getting a lot of my frets are crazy worn down. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but I'm gonna need to replace at least my second and third fret pretty soon. But anyway, necks feel amazing anywhere on the neck. And I'm deliberately showing you like I'm playing way high up here. I don't just play chords, I can go lead. And I want to talk about the sound. So for a long time, what I really appreciated about Taylor was their plugged-in sound. And I realized I'm a full-time pro. I perform and teach for a living. And I play mostly in churches, by the way. I do Christian stuff. But I noticed that most pros and people I look up to, both signed and unsigned, were playing Taylors on stage. And I couldn't understand. I would go in my local guitar store, Guitar Center, and I would play it unplugged, unmiked. I mean, not amplified, plugged in. And it was a smaller sound. It wasn't as loud as my Martin. And I honestly, I mean, it sounded good, but I couldn't justify this enormous expense I felt. And I've talked to a lot of fellow guitar players or my guitar students. A lot of them feel the same way. But I finally bit the bullet to buy it because I realized that most of my favorite players were playing it, and I wasn't using it in the context that they were using it. I was at the guitar store playing it with no amplification, and they were playing it on stage. And so in faith, I just purchased it. It was $2,600, but I figured, hey, if I don't like it, I'll sell it. And it's very important. I did that also with my Telecaster for the exact same reasons almost. But I'll talk about that in another video. But and for some of you that might seem extreme, that to just plunk down $2,600 on something that you don't like. But I am a full-time pro, so this is what I do. I'm always looking at changing my mind to be able to see the truth and overcome my own delusion, but also to be able to get the best equipment possible. So let's talk about the tone. Here's the sound of the guitar, just acoustic. I'm just playing any chord. I'm realizing I'm not following any music theory here. But listen. Notice the lack of buzz. And that's with a relatively low action. I like a medium action on my Taylor. I'm playing with 12 gauge D'Addarios, 12 to 53. I just put them on this morning because I broke restraint. Also notice when I play a chord, you can hear every tone. And I just want to say, you know, what I used to like about Martin was this deeper sound. It was like this deeper, richer. My Martins were dreadnought, and I just want to also include that that's not fair. If you're judging a guitar that you're accustomed to a dreadnought fullness and bassiness of a dreadnought, and then you compare it to the tonality of like a grand auditorium that's visibly smaller, you're not going to get the same amount of resonance, okay? So I used to say, well, these don't have as much resonance, volume, and therefore bass of like a full-blown dreadnought Martin. But go ahead and play a Taylor dreadnought. They don't make them anymore, but if you can get anything like the 414 series, those are full-blown dreadnoughts. They're amazing. They're some of my favorite guitars, by the way. So, but back in my mindset when I was like not realizing all this, and I purchased this, and I'm just strumming this guitar, it took me a while to hear how good this sound is. It's just different from everything I was used to. It's a little bit delicate. But notice how crisp it is. And when you look at a guitar to sound good as a standalone unit, that is not always the full expression of how to look at a guitar. Yes, it should sound great alone, but really people are hearing this guitar in context to a live band. So the question became, how does my Taylor 814 CE sit in the mix of a live band? And when I started realizing about the mix of an acoustic guitar, you're dealing with a thin sliver of frequency. There's just a thin little sliver. I do production on Ableton, and I started learning about dialing back frequencies and allocating frequencies to certain instruments. And listen, the acoustic just takes a very specific role in the band. And I'm talking about if you have drums, bass, keys, electric guitars, singers, like background vocals, a lot of stuff happening on stage. The guitar is just a very it's just moving like almost like a salt shaker. They say. You hear like almost like a rhythmic percussive sound that also has chordal movements, and it's a thin sliver, and that's usually what you're used to hearing with the guitar in songs, you know. And Taylor really manages to zero in on that perfect frequency, and they really just live there. Where I noticed with other guitars, they attempt to be bigger in a fuller sound, but I noticed Taylor doesn't do that. they really focus on this amazing sound that really zeroes in on that one frequency, or that small frequency. And that's why I couldn't appreciate it when I was playing it at the store. I had to hear it plugged in the house with my in-ear monitors, with my full band, at full power, full volume. And that's when I was like, man, this is an amazing guitar. And why did I overlook this guitar for so long? Well, I was looking at the wrong things when I was judging a guitar. Ultimately, I'm a pro. How do I play guitar? Usually I'm plugged in to a sound system. Even when I'm practicing here in my studio, I'm usually plugged in so that I can have these softer tones. You're hearing that. You're hearing a blend of the acoustic and also the amp behind me. But notice how much sustain and richness and bass you get now that I'm plugged in. I mean, that's huge. Retake that. Have the buzziness and the graininess. I almost want to say the griminess. That stuff sounds kind of cool when it has a very organic analog kind of feel, but the Taylor just takes it to another level. I'm spoiled. I bought this guitar as my first Taylor ever. Since I've owned a couple more, my son has a Taylor GS Mini, but what I've realized, a bunch of my students bought Taylors, and I was able to play like the 114, the 214, the 314, the 414. I've played the 6 and the 714. I've played the 914. Here's the 814. I believe the 814 is the best guitar of the whole lot. You know, for a full band situation, or if you record line, because of this 2.0 expression system. Obviously the wood is incredible. I'm focusing this review on my experience and my opinion, because obviously you could just Google the specs. You don't need me to tell you that stuff. But from my opinion, I mean, this guitar, it's really stood up to the test of time. I did have to do two significant repairs that I want to mention. I had to change the pickup, and that was a beast. Actually, my good friend of mine, but at the time he was working as a sound engineer for my band, and he was also a Taylor certified rep, and so he actually changed the pickup for free and got me the stuff at cost. But it was like, wow, we took the neck off, these piezos here, there's another pickup under the neck, and there's like a 3-point system that they use, so we had to replace all that. And then I had some other problems, and I've had to replace this box twice. This whole unit I had to replace. One of it was they changed the size of the battery cavity, and that was causing problems with getting a battery in. You had to buy a special battery. Finally just replaced it, and then it went kaput and I had to replace it again. So, but this is over several years and of constant daily use of on stage and rehearsals, lugging it all over town. You see, my Taylor, it's all dinged up. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's just got so many dings, it's almost starting to look like relict, you know? But not that I revel in that, it's just the truth. But anyway, so again, here's me turning off the amp. Here's with the amp on. So I'm a happy customer. I really like my Taylor 814. Is there another Taylor I want? Yeah, I have mentioned in today's video that I really want a 414, and they don't make them anymore. And I'm looking at the used prices; they're It's about, I don't know, $2,200 at the moment. But that would be great to have. In another video, I will talk about my opinion of Martin and my experiences with the Martins that I've owned and kind of A/B them a little bit. So look out for that one as well. By the way, if you want to take guitar lessons from me, just hit me up. All the information will be below the description. Okay? And thanks so much for watching. Happy jamming.